It's bigger. It's louder. It's better than ever. This still isn't your typical motorsports podcast. This is the 10th anniversary of Crush This, a monster truck podcast brought to you by J Concepts. For 10 years, your hosts, the monster truck Canucker Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash, have brought you into the minds and personalities of the monster truck industry. Strap in and hold on tight. This is Crush This!
Hey, welcome to another episode of Crush This, a Monster Truck Podcast, presented by J Concepts. Once again, guys, sorry about the whole month of October was just crazy. Situations going on with us and our program and stuff like that, and we had to take some breaks, and I've been gone doing some NASCAR stuff, and welcome back. We're ready to go. This is Halloween. Oh, geez. Hall of Fame weekend, and congratulations, Steve Dane, Jim Kohler, and Ron Bachman. Congratulations to all of them. But while we're at it here, once again, thank you to J Concepts supplier. I would have my RC trucks here, but I got them ready to go for this weekend. I may race them on Sunday at CRC Hobbies over there in Peoria, Illinois. And I get ready for that fun exchange. If anyone's watching is interested in racing, I think signups are at 8 a.m. and then we'll go ahead and race that fun, exciting time then. But while you're at it, while you get some gear, go to Crush This with jconcepts.net. Get 15% off items. They just released a pretty cool Firestone tire, so go take a look at that at jconcepts.net. Also, want to thank, we're going to show a video here later on, Steve Jones in Monster Truck Attitude. Go take a look at that for Tuesday night Smashdown and Thursday Night Thunder. They're doing a cool draft going on, so you have to register for that month, and then every week just pick a name and go from there. So that's pretty cool stuff also. And go take a look at that. We'll see, have a little video there too. Also want to thank Back Channel Productions and MTRC. Their videos will be on it also going from there too. Also, go support us at Crush This, a Monster Truck Podcast at our spread shop. New stuff's coming in soon. Go ahead and take a look at that stuff also. Help us support the podcast so we can keep it running and go from there. Much obliged. Thank you guys for doing that. Please, 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 please do that. And it will be awesome too. Cool microphone. Fuzzy thing with Jigger. I don't know what it's called, but it's cool. Anyway, if you don't have a chance to go to our watch the show or listen to it on iTunes and Spotify, which will be back and running this week, just letting you guys know, the Spotify and stuff like that will be back and running for that and go from there. So if not, and you want to listen to our episode, go to monstersmonthly.com and go take a look at that stuff too. It helps us out. And BJ Johnson saying I need a haircut. I like my hair. It's pretty cool. Styling, profiling. Woo! So go there for that. monstersmonthly.com. While you're at it too, take a screenshot of this episode, tag me, Brad, or Faith, and in the podcast itself, saying you're watching it also. Helps us out with our 5-star likes and reviews. Also, once again, we're going to get the ball rolling with our podcast on air and stuff like that. So we'll go from there too. But we're going to show one of our commercials for today. And then we're going to have Faith Phreed on and catch up with her. We haven't had her on in a few years. The last time we had her on, she kind of just started monster trucking and, hanging out with her dad and he was on also, but this time we're having her solo. So she just came back from the Middle East with some Hot Wheels action, and we'll catch up with her here in a few moments. So here it is.
Are you ready to get in on the action here on the Monster Truck Attitude YouTube channel? Look no further. Head over to Facebook where you can sign up for all the great events we host right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure to sign up for the events and register your name and get locked in with a monster truck of your own and get ready for the great thrills and spills right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Again, find us on Facebook, register for these events, and you soon will be competing in all the great events. We hope to see you there and get ready for the wild and crazy action. Be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a beat right here on the Monster Truck Attitude YouTube channel.
And
that was meant.
Oh, that was meant. And I've never mentioned it, but Steve messed up the spelling on the word there at the very end. I've never mentioned it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to mention it because I don't know. It's something that I always notice and I never mention, so I'm going to mention it. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Thank you guys for being patient with us over the last month and a half. You know, with Cheech being busy, traveling all over the States, I've been dealing with some stuff over here at home here in Alberta. And, you know, it's good to be back doing the episodes again. And, you know, like Cheech said, we haven't had Faith on in a long time. Welcome back to the show. How's everything been going?
Oh, thank you for having me back after 2 years. I waited so long to come back and talk to you guys. I've been so busy. A little sarcasm. I've been very busy. We have a lot of new things happening in the monster truck world, the college world, just about everything. I mean, we have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot to catch up on, but we're actually going to go fast forward before we're going back and forth. You went to you've been doing a lot of the international stuff for Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live. And, you know, getting to explore the world, you know, my mom always said, like, you know, it's crazy that these big, funny looking tire trucks are taking you all over the place. And if someone told you a few years back, Faith, that you'd be going to some of the prime areas in the world, you probably would have just shook your head saying, nah, that's not going to happen. But now you got that opportunity to do so. So how was it touring around? And I believe you're still, you know, I think Vern was having his trucks overseas and stuff like that. So how was the opportunity for that?
It was probably like the most amazing experience I've had in my life so far, just to be able to travel to the Middle East, because I've done traveling in this area like Costa Rica and Mexico with Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live as well. But now going to the Middle East, it's opened my eyes into like how big the world actually is that I went from Florida where there's palm trees and iguanas to the middle of the desert going sandboarding down a sand dune. And it's so amazing to think about how two places can be so different. And I'm now falling in love with all these other countries, and it's helping me kind of, I guess, broaden my choices on where I want to live one day, what my career is going to be, if I want to do more traveling in the future. So it's not for me just touring and, you know, driving monster trucks. For me, it's like helping me build my character as a teenager, like going into adulthood, and like seeing all of these things is really helping me.
You know, one thing, you know, I've been able to travel out of Canada, you know, to Mexico and other places. And I remember when I went to Mexico, I was on a missions trip, and the kind of culture shock that you go through when you go into a new country, for me, it was like, whoa, because, you know, I went to the dump in Tijuana where people are living and stuff like that. What did you have any culture shock going, you know, when you went to the Middle East and it was like, wow, like this is so different, you know, how they're living compared to how I live in Florida? Like what were your kind of thoughts and expectations when you went over there?
There was a moment where I did kind of get a little bit of a culture shock. We went to a market in Kuwait City. It was right in the middle of the city, and it was nothing but off-brand bags. I mean, instead of like Louis Vuitton, it was like some other name, but it looked the exact same. So seeing all the effort that people were, you know, putting in to making these fake products, but seeing all of the customers buying it. And it was a really rundown market. Like there was no building. It was nothing but tarps and tents. And then there was randomly like a fish market in the middle of it. So the whole thing smelled terrible, but it was still the coolest thing that I got to see. And of course, we did shopping. I mean, we must have gone there like 4 times the week we were in Kuwait just to walk around because it was just so cool to see everything that they had, created.
So I have some hard hitting questions here. Just one actually. Uh how was the food culture? How was there any type of food that you like that you're like, man, I like to learn how to cook it and bring it back to the States and cook? Or was there anything that you had to go multiple times saying, I like some more of that stuff?
Let me explain something to you, Cheech. I don't know if you've met Vern House, but he was with us during that tour and he has a very basic food palate. So he doesn't really like to eat anything different. And since we were all eating together on the tour, this is going to sound really terrible as someone who's just talking about, loving the culture change. We must have went to Texas Roadhouse 8 times while we were in the middle, and that was about all we lived off of. And I can't eat Texas Roadhouse again. We ate it so much because he didn't want to try anything different.
See, I'd be the same way. My wife gets after me all the time because I have the palate of a 5-year-old. Like I like what I like, and that's it. I'm a stickler for food, but it's so cool that being able to travel. Like Cheech mentioned in the beginning, like getting to travel because of monster trucks. I've gotten the chance to do it. Cheech, yourself. It's such a cool thing being able just to be like, because of these dumb, big, stupid trucks, we get to travel and live out our dreams. It's such a cool thing. And I bet you don't take that for granted when you're, standing in the Middle East being like, man, I am like one of the luckiest people in the world that I get to do this.
It really is an amazing feeling just to kind of sit there. And I remember I kind of had this moment while I'm basically climbing sand dunes in Kuwait and I'm just looking up at the sunrise and I'm like, I'm 17 years old. And out of all places, I'm from Southwest Florida, yet I somehow made it to Kuwait. And it was all because of these like big 10,000-pound trucks that have tires that are like the same size as me. And thanks to them, I'm like getting all of these chances to go travel. And it's such a weird thing to think about. I agree.
Uh, well, we have our first fan question and still talk about food.
It's a doozy.
And it's a doozy. It's from your dad.
Oh.
The said everything.
Can we skip that one?
Nope. You just answered your faith. Ask her about eating cat.
Okay. So that was more of a situation he got himself into. He had to go to Saudi Arabia for a bit of a like a customs issue. So him and a few of the other guys went over there, and unfortunately, in Saudi Arabia, there's really nothing much there. And I hope I'm pronouncing that country's name correctly. But since there was nothing really there, the only place was this rundown shack. And there was like these plates that they gave them, and there was like rice, chicken, and some other things. So that was the only place that accepted card. They didn't have any cash on them or their currency. So they sit down and they start eating, and it was actually really good. Like it was a really good meal for being in the middle of nowhere, next to the customs operation. And at the end, they said, that's really good chicken. Thank you. And they said, well, that's not chicken. It's cat. And then they kind of look around them and there's cats walking everywhere and they look at each other. And I wish I would have been there for that moment, but they've been telling everybody about how they had to eat cat but it was good. They said it tasted just like chicken. So, you have to do what you have to do over there in the Middle East sometimes.
That reminded me of when I was in Mexico. I went with one of the translators to like where he lived or somebody lived, and they were feeding me some stuff. I tried cactus, which is actually really good, and they fed me something like, this is what is good. What is it? Pig intestine. I'm like, are you serious? Why did you feed me pig intestine? This is wrong. Like, what are you doing? But like it adds to the experience and the trip. And One question I have, it's kind of not, it's not really monster truck related, but it's something that I was wondered. You know, I know that in the Middle East they have a real big, like, you know, oil and gas. You know, that's one of their main industries out there. How much of that did you see out there? That's just a question that I have personally, because I used to be involved in the oil and gas industry in here, Alberta, Canada. What was it like over there? Did you see a lot of drilling rigs and stuff like that over there?
So in Abu Dhabi, we really didn't. We didn't spend a lot of time in Dubai, which is where I had originally thought we were going for some reason. We were actually 2 hours, I believe it's south of Dubai, and it was very touristy. I mean, they had Ferrari World and all of these like crazy touristy things. But once we got out to Kuwait, the show was literally in the middle of the desert. And as you're driving out of Kuwait City down into like the I guess like the really desert, I don't even know how you would pronounce it, like super isolated area. There's all of these signs in other languages, and we started asking the tour guide, you know, what does that mean? And they said, well, those are no picture signs. If you take pictures, you go to jail. No videos, no pictures. And I was really confused, and I did more research, and I didn't realize I was surrounded by all of these oil rigs everywhere. And I guess it's like punishable, like you go straight to jail if you're caught taking pictures or videos of them. And I'm not
Wow.
sure why, but it was really cool to go and see it. Obviously, I couldn't post about it, but yes, I definitely did see a lot of it going out there every day to the track.
That's interesting, because here you could take pictures of the rigs and nobody bats an eye. That's very surprising to me.
Man, that's pretty neat about, you know, because of the Middle East and stuff like that with the oil and gas rigging. And it's kind of how to make the world go around and stuff like that too. About you know, how it goes on and everything like that. But outside of that, you know, we also have Mike Mentor. He said, I guess you like Tiger Shark more than 5 Alarm. But outside of that, we'll move around for that. But with that too, you know, you're doing the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live, but you still were doing, you know, some independent monster truck racing with the judge. And you know, some people may not know, you know, the story behind your identity of your, you know, truck in America and stuff like that. So if you want to explain to the fans a little bit about the story behind the judge.
Yeah, so I actually might need to go through a little bit of an identity change on that truck because everyone knows me as the lawyer, the pre-law student, the law student, and I've basically created my whole monster truck career over the fact I was going to be a lawyer. I mean, it's all I've really ever wanted to do. I mean, when I was 5, I dressed up as a lawyer for career day. I mean, I graduated high school, I got my first college degree. I started my second degree as a pre-law student. I mean, the past year, I've put in thousands of dollars and countless hours into studying for the LSAT to get into law, just to decide I want to be a doctor instead. And that whole time, I did all of this law stuff and I created the judge, which I still kind of want to keep it around just because of the meaning behind it. And I built it to raise awareness of struggles women in motorsports go through because I've dealt with a lot being in the industry, especially being so young, and being a female just in itself can be difficult. Just dealing with other people in the industry or people out of the industry, you're kind of looked down on or you're kind of discriminated against in some circumstances. So I wanted to combine my love of law into something powerful that, you know, women in motorsports could kind of look to as a safe spot. And that's why I still kind of want to keep it around. But now I'm kind of falling back into love with the medical field. And my new pathway now is to become a surgeon. So that's currently what I'm in school for now, which is a lot more work and a lot more schooling, but I'm ready for it. And I'm a lot more confident now in my decision that I want to be a surgeon. So maybe the judge will change, maybe it'll stay the same, but only time will tell on that one.
You know, there's a lot of cool concepts. When you were mentioning the whole surgeon thing, my brain, being a designer, my brain's just automatically going to work, trying to, you know, come up with ideas on my brain. That's just how I am, I guess, with how I design stuff. But going back to just with the driving, how's that been going? Getting comfortable with the truck, because the truck you're driving is the old Reptoy truck. It's been around for quite a long time. How's that truck been doing for you, and how comfortable you've been getting in it, and what have you guys done to keep it still running in today's monster truck world?
It's actually doing pretty good so far. We haven't had a lot of issues with it recently. This is basically the only truck, or the only chassis, I should say, that I really drove. I drove dysfunctional for one show, but that was basically it. It's always been me and this chassis. So I've really grown an emotional attachment to it. I mean, you can ask anyone on my tour, any of my friends. I mean, that truck, as weird as it sounds, it's like my daughter at this point. I mean, I care for that truck like about as much as I care for my dog Zumi, and everyone knows that I love Zumi. I mean, she's all over my Facebook. So, I mean, it's weird to think about the connection that you get with your first truck. And I feel like a lot of people in the monster truck industry could relate to that. I mean, you just kind of get this connection. You go through so much, things break, things get fixed, you have late nights together, you have early mornings, you have morning media. And I mean, I did my very first show in this truck, and I'm still driving it 3 years later. And we've been through different body and identity changes, and I've just gotten so comfortable with it now. I feel like I could just trust it with my life. I mean, if I want to do some crazy stunt with it, I would feel completely comfortable doing so, because I am like completely set in that truck. I have the perfect seat, the seatbelt setup and everything. It's just like built for me. So I'm just so comfortable in it now that I've been working with it for 3 years. I just never want to part with it.
So we will be right back with Fate. Going to ask some questions about how her motorsports life and her life in general has intertwined with her new business. And we'll get more back to it also with Faith here. So we are going to have a quick ad here, and then we'll be right back. Hey, thank you. I almost said Bradshaw. Nick Davis and Back Channel Productions, they are going to celebrate their 10-year anniversary of their shows on YouTube. Go take a look at that. He has the last couple episodes right now with the World Championship sand drags and stuff like that. So we're getting back to it here. Faith, want to talk about, let's get well, I'm screwing up here. Your endeavor on this opportunity. I'm not really the makeup company that you have brought out, and it seems like it's been doing all right. Explain about that going on.
The story behind Horsepower Cosmetics is pretty similar to The Judge, basically to give females in motorsports that peace of mind, that spot of knowing that someone understands what they're going through, to bring awareness to the struggles that women in motorsports go through. So basically, same concept. I started that company when I was about 15, which is still crazy to think about. I feel like I just opened it recently. But unfortunately, with how busy I've been with college and work and monster trucks, I haven't had too much time to work on it lately, and the website's down at the moment. But I am planning on selling them at more shows that I do. So I do have a show coming up in February, Alexandria, Louisiana. I believe we're still planning on doing, and I'll be bringing my cosmetics there. So right now I'm not too focused on online sales, but I am selling some of my products in person at my shows.
And how's that, combining the cosmetic stuff with the monster truck life? I love the name you created, Horsepower Cosmetics, at bringing those two worlds together. But how has, that been with, doing monster trucks? Has it been a, very positive thing, combining those two passions, or has it been a very challenging endeavor trying to balance kind of both lives?
I feel like it's all about finding a good balance. And I feel like I found that in motorsports of bringing my girly side and my mechanic side together. And I feel like that's what Horsepower Cosmetics helps me do. Because there's a lot of females in motorsports that can relate to that, that there's like this big industry that's mostly populated by men. And then we're going in and trying to like prove ourselves and still like have our girly side of doing our hair and makeup. And, sometimes that can be looked down on. And I feel like having Horsepower Cosmetics, it kind of shows that it's okay. Like we can have our makeup, we can have our like hair products and fancy perfumes or whatever it may be, and still drive monster trucks. And I feel like it's really helping prove that you can still be girly and, be covered in oil and grease and work on your truck. So I really feel like we found like a good balance and combination.
And the thing is also, if you're mixing the two up, the passion of both. um did you try to focus a lot on uh, I'm I'm a guy, so I know I have friends that do makeup and stuff like that too, but I'm thinking off the cusp. Did you try to focus a lot on the stuff like sweat, grease, dirt? Um, you're wearing a head sock over your helmet, then you have your helmet, and the material is also wearing that on your face. And it when you looked into the products and what you want to put your personal touch on that, what did you focus a lot on the product to help people that may not be doing monster trucks but may do junior dragsters or dirt track racing on a Saturday night, that saw your product because they like the name and they want to use your product in other forms of motorsports in general?
Yeah, well, we use here at like Horsepower Cosmetics, we don't have technically full face makeup because it is so hard. And that's something that I found as well, to keep a full face of makeup while you're working on monster trucks. And one day I hope to even just create a product, even just myself, create something that is durable enough to, like you said, wear a head sock over it, wear a helmet over it, and, not mess it up. But the first thing was I just wanted to get the basic products out there. So right now I just have like basic eye makeup. We have something called a pit party palette, which has a lot of different glitters in it, which I usually use before pit party, just something to like, get a little fancy. But of course, the eye makeup, the lipstick, highlighter, and things like that, they all kind of go in the parts of your face that don't really get affected by the head socks or the helmets, so they can still stay on. But as for like the concealer and the foundation, which I'm sure you guys don't really know what that is, but those two things I really want to look forward to in the future, creating something, going hand in hand with a chemist to find something that is really durable for all motorsports forms.
I know what that stuff is. My wife wears makeup from time to time, so I kind of know a bit about that. But it's cool seeing more, women in motorsports getting involved in other stuff. You look at Becky McDonough with her clothing brand she's been doing for so long now, and it's really cool to see. And even just women in monster trucks, you look at women in the past, Jill Canuso, Kathy Winston, Marilyn Chandler. And now you're a part of that. What does that mean to you that you're in this lineage of women in motorsports and women in the monster truck industry that are, just doing amazing things?
It's really amazing to be a part of, and I've really been thinking about that a lot recently as I've been, doing a lot more college and taking more of like, I guess you could say, a break from monster truck driving. Of course, I'm going to be getting right back into it, but during this break, I've really had some time to reflect on all of my past monster truck experiences and the impact I've been able to make. And of course, I have been able to go and I've been able to talk at high schools and middle schools, even talk to some elementary students. And I feel like I'm making such a big impact. And then I'm looking at all of these other drivers like Lindsay Reed. Oh my gosh, she's my favorite driver out there. And all of these other female monster truck drivers. And I'm seeing all the impacts that they're able to make. And it's just so amazing to be a part of it. And I see all the impacts that we're making with the girls, and like going to a middle school and seeing little girls, and they come up to you and they're like, I want to do what you do. Like, thank you for showing me, like, women can do this too. It's not just for men. Like, we can go out there and race, and we can get dirty and work on trucks. And I think that's really important. And I think it's really great we're able to be a part of that.
Being a ambassador for women in general in the monster truck world. You talked about how little girls come over and talk to you, and you're getting to approach now adult ladies. You being so young, you're in the same type of area, kind of where they're trying to go to maybe a vocational school, or a YOTech or a UTI type deal. And when you try to, Kristen Anderson does it the best when she does interviews and stuff like that, where she says, I'm driving for all the ladies in this arena, all the little girls that look up to me, all the ladies, the moms, everyone there. I'm running for them. A lot of ladies have, say that in general, but having that representative be representing that, the women in the arena and stuff like that, it got to be exciting for you, and being also, on the younger side too, just giving hope for people, the same age or a little bit younger, to have hope there is a area for, if someone wants to go and race, they can do it.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm able to inspire them, and I feel like I'm really leaving a legacy behind. And I'm not just going out and driving monster trucks, I'm helping others do it too. And maybe they don't want to drive monster trucks, but they want to go do engineering, or they want to go do some type of career that's male dominated. I'm showing them that that's okay, and that they can still do it, and they can, not just do it, but like succeed at it and grow and do all these crazy things. I mean, I started my career in Aruba. I didn't even know I was going to drive until the morning of. And now 3 years later, I just got back from Kuwait with Hot Wheels. It's such a crazy industry to be in. And now to be able to inspire others to do it too, and to help these little girls have confidence. I mean, I've had little girls write me letters and make me gifts, and they'll bring them to me at pit party. And oh, I'll never forget this one little girl. She wrote me a letter and she memorized the whole thing. And she came up to me, she handed me the letter, and she read it all word per word about how I helped her, I motivated her, and how she now knows that she can do anything guys can do. And I just started crying. I mean, it's so amazing that I'm able to help them. And I don't even have words at this point, because it just makes me so happy to know that I'm able to help.
Well, you're only like, I believe you said 3 years into your career, and you've had a lot of great teachers. You've had Vern, your dad, that crazy Englishman, Jed, great guy. And everybody else on the Hot Wheels tours, who, like, talk about just the camaraderie that you've been able to have with all these people, and the wisdom that they have been able to impart in you into your driving career.
Yeah, I've met a lot of amazing people in the industry, not just Hot Wheels, but I did the full first quarter with the circus, and I've done a lot of independent shows, and I've kind of became like siblings with a lot of the people in a way. Like, I've kind of got my monster truck brothers, I call them, like Devin Wheeler. He was on my first tour that I did with Monster Trucks with a Z, or we just call it the circus tour. I did that when I was 14, just started driving. And every show he would give me pointers on the track, like, here's what you should do, here's what not to do. He would give me feedback at the end of the day. I mean, he guided me through my whole first quarter. and I could never thank him enough. And I still talk to him to this day. We're still friends. And I've met a lot of amazing other people that are helping me do the same, give me pointers and guide me in the right direction. Talking to people with more wisdom, people who have been in it longer or are specialized in a certain trick that I'm trying to learn. And I think that that's what's really important about the monster truck industry is everyone's there to help each other. Everyone wants to help each other grow and strive in the industry. And I think that that's really important as a female, especially a young female trying to grow into the industry.
So we actually have another fan question here, and it's from Dustin Spallone. And
Florida man.
Florida man. What is one venue that you would want to compete that you haven't yet?
Oh gosh. Let's see. There is a stadium. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I know it's some part of California. I don't remember which city, but it kind of has a big waterfall and all of these cool little artifacts over in the corner. I wish I knew what the name was, but
Anaheim?
it seems
Angel Stadium, Anaheim.
Agent Stadium, yeah, Anaheim, yeah.
It just looks so cool. I've never been there before, but just looking at the pictures and watching the videos of monster trucks that are in there, it really seems like a cool venue to go to.
And that venue has such a, legendary motorsports history with Supercross and even monster trucks dating back to the 80s and 90s. And that, for me, that's still a bucket list venue myself as just a fan to attend because the iconic moments that have happened there. And it's a staple of monster trucks. There's certain venues that are just staples in the industry, and that is definitely one of them. Talking about, Hot Wheels, they have been putting in a lot of work to expand their touring. They've been doing a lot of stuff in the States. They were just overseas in New Zealand, Australia, Kuwait. Talk about, being a part of that growth with the Hot Wheels tour, because they're the second, in my opinion, they're the second largest tour out there for the independent side. And, how's it been touring with them and, putting on shows with that group?
It is amazing to be a part of especially something so well known. I always grew up looking at the little Hot Wheels toys that were in the section of Walmart or Publix or wherever it was, just seeing those little things. And now knowing that I'm touring with that company, it's really a cool thing to think about. But just the travel experience that I've been able to get has been really amazing. I mean, I could never thank them enough. And especially that I'm still able to take my laptop with me and do schoolwork, and I'm able to manage both. It's really been an amazing experience being able to tour with them.
And then having the chance to work with your dad and Vern, those guys have maybe 200 years of experience in monster trucking, and having them with you the whole time, helping you out, and the connection with your dad and stuff like that. How have that been? I'm gonna work on these questions here soon, but how was it having them two with you during your journey in the monster truck world?
It's really been an interesting experience, and I say that in the best way possible because me and my dad had never met Vern when we got to Aruba. So we actually met Vern just sitting downstairs, just eating breakfast. That's where we met him, in Aruba. And he just trusted me, a little 14-year-old who had no idea how to even start a monster truck, to start his truck with like the Aruba body on it and go fly it through the air. So, I mean, ever since that weekend, we've all just became so closely connected. I mean, we spent that New Year's at his house. I mean, we still go up to Vern's house, and he's about like 4 hours north. So we'll go up there. Has like a bunch of, animals and dogs. We all go and hang out. I mean, it's not even just monster trucks at this point. It's like we're family with him and the team. So we'll always go there. We'll hang out. We'll watch movies. We'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. We'll go to Texas Roadhouse because that's what Vern loves. And of course, Dad too. So, I mean, it's more of a family at this point. And I feel like over the last 3 years of all of us touring together, we've all became kind of, we all kind of synced. So we all know what's wrong. We know what needs to be fixed. So we're kind of like down pat in our, I guess, organization. Every weekend, we know what needs to be tired up first, what needs to be worked on. I mean, we can get both trucks tired up in like 30 minutes to an hour because we just know what needs to be unloaded and what needs to be tired up. And I really don't want to lose that because we have just worked so hard to have the connection that we do. And especially with Vern bringing all of his knowledge. I mean, if there's something broke, Vern can fix it. I mean, he is like an engineer. He can fix just about everything. And having my dad guide me before every show, we would walk over the track and see what jumps I should hit, which jumps I shouldn't, what stunts I should do and what I shouldn't. And it's really been amazing to have both of their guidance, you know, Vern making sure my truck is in the best condition possible, having my dad make sure I'm comfortable in the truck before the show. I mean, they're really like the best influencers I could have had as a female and someone young entering the industry.
One cool thing is one of the first people I actually ever got to interact in this business in person was your dad. It was when he was driving Robo Machine. And he did the first monster truck throwdown small arena show here in Grand Prairie. And I still remember I was doing club help and he was like, no, well, this was a few years before that incident.
Before the wall.
I think it was like it was like a racing pass or a wheelie pass. And I'm standing there, you know, with the fire extinguisher right by me. And he comes off the car set, you know, iron walls it, and he's like twisting in the air. I was like, this isn't going to be good. Lands on it on the roof and slides. And he was probably about maybe 50 foot away from where I was standing when he landed. And that was like one of the first interactions I ever had with your dad was him rolling over and me rushing over to the truck with the fire extinguisher. You know, and
that's my dad.
And it's just your dad was always cool to me anytime that I've talked to him and at that show. And you know, and you know, Vern seems like a really good guy. So you guys have a really good thing going. And you know, Shane says he remembers that. Yep. and you know, it's just the whole monster truck industry. No matter if you've been in it for, you know, years or if it's your like first or second day, it's one giant family. And that's the one thing that I think is very important that people remember is we're all in this together. It doesn't matter if you're part of Jam, if you're part of Hot Wheels, if you're part of Monster X, whatever tour you're on, we're all one big dysfunctional family in this industry.
Yeah, that's really...
sorry. That was my fault.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue on. No. There was a little quiet gap there. So I was like,
yeah.
What should I do with the camera here?
We haven't been on sync on camera in a while, so we're just getting our poop in a group again.
It's okay. I think about it the same way, that we're all just one big family. I've just became such good friends with so many people in the industry, especially a lot of people at Throttle Monster, a lot of people at Monster Jam, a lot of people at Hot Wheels. You know, it doesn't matter what tour they're on. Everyone's just good people and they're all there to help each other. And I think that that's really important. And that's why we can all succeed in the industry, is because we're all there to help.
You know, and we got a new one here. And we've been talking about Roadhouse all day long. And Chris Gillenberg wants to know, what's your go-to meal at Texas Roadhouse?
Oh, gosh. My appetite changes a lot, but lately it's been like a really, really rare steak. And you can ask my dad the same thing. He keeps making jokes about how I need to go on heartworm pills because of it. But it's so good. Their steak at Texas Roadhouse is just absolutely perfect.
And so we're going to go a little bit of some fan questionnaire here. What's your favorite truck that your dad drove?
Oh, boy. I mean, he's drove all of them. So he drove the Judge once. So I'm going to have to say the Judge.
Good answer. Good answer. You know, and before we continue on, and I wanted to talk about, you know, a little bit about, you know, the schooling side of it, you know, that's gonna be pretty interesting. We're gonna show our last commercial, and then we're gonna continue on with Faith. So here we Once again, thank you to Colby Marshall and MTRC. I know he's been busy with the Toughest Monster Truck Tour, and also with the Monster Blog, which is celebrating 20th anniversary. Also, what's going on there? So, like you've been talking about throughout the whole episode here, Faith, you've been going through, just in general with the motorsports. You also have schooling, and currently you made it public. You're attending Penn State University. The state college, Happy Valley, they always say. But I think you're doing online classes, I believe, right, with through Penn State, or you do actually live in Pennsylvania currently?
No, I do Penn State World Campus. So I can
Okay.
still travel and I can still live here in Fort Myers, but I can still get the full experience of college, kind of.
So how does that work with basically you're doing not just two full-time deals. I think you're doing like three or four full-time things going on at the same time. Outside of schooling, you have the schooling, monster trucks, your side business, and just life in general. I always say life in general is always a full-time deal, and you mix everything up with that. Um, how do you put yourself through that? There's a will, there's always a way, and you must have been your mom and dad must have named you the right, calling yourself Faith, because you always need that.
Yeah, it's a lot to handle, but it's all about time management. I Right now I manage a medical company. We have 3 different offices, so I'm working probably like 40 to 50 hours a week minimum. And on top of that, I'm also a full-time college student. I'm in, let's see, 7 classes. So every day I'm working till like 5 or 6, and then I go to a coffee shop. I study for like 3 hours until they close. I come home and I study till midnight. I wake up and do it all again. So it's a lot, and it's a lot to manage. And then, of course, all weekend long, I'm catching up on the schoolwork that I missed during the week working. But I really am getting the experience that I need to go to medical school by running this company, and it's really become my passion. And now working with this company has helped me understand that it's not really law that I want to do, it's medical. And I care for my patients so much. And I love speaking with them and being able to help and cure them. And I think that's such an amazing thing to do at 17, especially alongside monster trucks. I mean, I'm living 2 amazing lives for a 17-year-old. So, I mean, it's definitely a lot to handle, especially while trying to like keep up with social media for monster trucks. And then, of course, managing horsepower cosmetics. And of course, finding time to hang out with my dog. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I think I have a pretty good schedule going on right now.
So I heard you mention stuff about school, and I wanted to ask this because I'm planning on going to college in January, taking graphic design course, which to some people is shocking because, that's what I've done for the last 16 years, but I don't have that formal training, which I want. How, with you going to school and doing all this stuff, how do you balance that? Because that's one thing that I'm worried about, that, I'm not going to have time for other things. I might have to stop drumming at church, or, how do you juggle that? Because that's what, like I said, that's one thing that I'm trying to figure out, before I start in January.
It's kind of all, I guess, individualistic. It depends on your specific lifestyle. With me, I really don't do anything other than school and work right now. I mean, you can ask my dad, he'll tell you. I mean, all I do is I go to work, I work all day. I don't do anything else. I don't take a lunch break. I don't do anything. I just work. And then I go straight to the coffee shop to study. I don't talk to anybody. I don't go out with friends. I don't have any friends over here in Fort Myers really that I hang out with. I just do nothing but school and work. So unfortunately, just balancing those two things, especially with, trying to fit in monster trucks to the equation, I really don't have time to have, I guess, a work-life balance. I try, but it doesn't happen very often. So, I mean, I might not be the person to ask. I just kind of make it my whole life, which probably isn't the healthiest, but I mean, I'm really enjoying it right now, just being able to work as much as I have, especially when I found this one thing that I love to do so much and I'm so confident in it.
So how with you doing schooling and stuff like that, how was the offset on being at the Middle East doing the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live, when you're kind of ahead of the United States pretty much. So when it's night on a Sunday, it's a daytime on a Monday for you, I believe. So how did you be able to do all that together while you were traveling and helping out and working, you know, it over there?
It wasn't too bad. I actually kind of thought of it as I got more time to do schoolwork just because of like how you mentioned most assignments are due on Sunday, but then with the time change, it was technically due like, like 8 a.m. Monday. So I kind of took it as extra time. So it kind of made stuff a little bit easier. But while I was doing, working on the trucks, I of course focused on the trucks themselves. But once it became pit party time and show time, I sat there and I did schoolwork. I did not watch a single show that we did in Kuwait, and I believe we did 3 or 4 shows. I didn't watch any of them. I sat there and I did schoolwork. I didn't go out for any of the pit parties since I wasn't driving. It was Dad and Vern. So I would sit in the container, or I would sit in the dressing room and I would do nothing but schoolwork. So just taking that time off to study, it helped me, still catch up and not fall behind.
We have another question here from Chris Foss, and this is actually a very interesting one. He's saying, with being in the Middle East, did they have any concerns with a woman driving a monster truck? As many countries in the Middle East have issues with women driving. I know with, when WWE does a pay-per-view over in, Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, the women have to wear like full suits. They can't wear the normal wrestling gear that might show off a little bit different body, compared to what they're used to. How was that? Because I know you mentioned that you didn't drive, but if you would have gotten the chance, what do you think that reaction would have been?
In the Middle East, of course, there were a lot of women who were mostly covered clothing wise. But when it came to us as drivers and mechanics, they weren't so strict with it. They were kind of, they were okay with it. They didn't have an issue. In Kuwait, it's typically required for women to at least wear pants and long sleeves. But while we were at the racetrack, me as well as other women who were there were able to wear shorts, tank tops, or whatever we chose. So it was pretty lenient. There was actually a female driver in Abu Dhabi, I believe. I'm not sure she was in Kuwait, but everyone was completely fine with it. The only thing is, in Kuwait, they are very, very respectful of women. So I did hear a story that last year there was a woman driving there through Hot Wheels on that tour. And a lot of men didn't want to go up to her and take pictures without permission from her husband. So a lot of them would go up to him first and ask if that was okay, if they were able to take a picture or get her autograph. So it's really not a restriction. They're just very respectful and they have their boundaries.
And with you being back home in the States, was it a small amount getting used to, getting a little bit rusty, getting the rest dust off? Yeah, coming back to the States, visiting all over the world, jet lag and stuff like that. Was it a little bit rough for you coming back?
The only thing I had a problem with was I think I caught some type of a bug while I was in Kuwait. The last day I started to get really sick and like my ears started popping on the plane, and then we had the 15-hour plane ride home and I was a complete train wreck the whole 15 hours. And then when I got home, I ended up just getting a bunch of vitamin C and taking a bunch of supplements to get rid of it. I'm not sure what it was, but that was really the only issue I had. I didn't get jet lag because of the times of our flights. It kind of worked out well. I was able to go right to sleep, wake up the next morning completely fine. So, I mean, there wasn't much rust other than just, trying to get rid of that sickness.
Now, do you guys have any shows coming up for the end of the year? Or are you guys done for the year, getting ready for first quarter? What's coming up for you guys?
Right now, the trucks are still not back from Kuwait. So they're still on a boat heading this way. And once they do, we just plan on tearing all the trucks apart, rebuilding them, making sure that they're ready for the 2026 season. As of right now, I believe that my next show is in February for the Monster Truck Winter Nationals in Alexandria, Louisiana. And that's something that we do every year. So as of right now, that's our next show.
Man, that's pretty awesome. Getting ready. It's just around the corner. Went to Love's, and after coming back from the NASCAR championship season and stuff like that, went to the Loves, and they started playing Christmas music. Went up to the manager and asked her, "You guys starting to play Christmas music now?" And they're like, "It's a Loves thing." As soon as it hit November 1st, Christmas music.
Brother, my wife has already started decorating Christmas. My bathroom in my apartment looks like a Christmas store blew up on it. My wife has so many freaking Christmas spatulas. Like it. I don't feel festive until December. But my wife, as soon as November 11th hits, and that's the rule in our house, is Remembrance Day, Veterans Day. As soon as that day happens, you can decorate. But it's like, who needs a toilet lid cover of Santa's face? Like, it doesn't. No. Oh, by the way, hey Chad.
Phreed, he put up the Christmas tree today.
Oh,
see, Chris, I just not until our Thanksgiving here in Canada is in October, so it's a little different here.
Well, it's crazy how in America it goes Christmas, 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 Thanksgiving, then back to Christmas. And it's a lot of people are kind of disliking it because they feel like they're getting shoved down. They're losing its luster. Christmases, because they're doing it soon, and pretty soon in the future there is going to be Christmas in July. They're going to be celebrating Christmas 6 months before it even happens.
Oh, don't tell my wife that. That woman's crazy for Christmas. The day after Halloween, we went to Walmart to get some cheap Halloween candy. They're doing Christmas stuff up, and it's just like, guys, it's no, just why?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm still. You can leave West Virginia, but West Virginia can't leave me. And in my living room, I still have my Christmas tree. And it's been there for 365 days. And it's still going to go back there because I have nowhere else to put it except for right there. It's going to stay there until I move.
That's my wife's dream, to keep the tree up 24/7.
I have a Christmas tree that just stays there. It's the only plant that's in my apartment. It's not even real. It's fake. But, I mean, that's still in general. So, Faith, let's talk about that. Are you a festive person? Are you going to put lights on that Longhorn skull there?
That's a really good idea. I should. I didn't think about that yet, but I was planning on not decorating until after Thanksgiving because Dad's pretty strict on kind of what you guys are saying. No decorating until after Thanksgiving. And I came home today and the Christmas tree's up. So I don't know what that's about.
You're going to have to ask him what's going on.
I'm the one who has to decorate it. He doesn't decorate the Christmas tree. So I guess that's my sign. I have to start digging out the ornaments already.
So you didn't really answer the question, though. Are you or are you not a seasonal person?
I try to be a seasonal person. I try to get in the Christmas spirit. The best I can with the weather that we're having. I mean, yeah, it's like 30 degrees in Florida today. It's completely freezing, but tomorrow it's probably going to be 80. That too. It is the surgery tomorrow.
It's funny for me with because normally by now here in Canada, we're covered in snow. There's no snow outside. Indiana, Ohio, Connecticut, all these other states have snow and we don't. And I'm like, yes. It's interesting, with all the holidays, and it's hopefully this Christmas will be good for everybody.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we're planning on going to Disney for Christmas and seeing all the lights. Hopefully we'll get into some good holiday spirit this year. Hopefully it starts cooling down. We get some more cold fronts over here.
Well, I got the most important question today for tonight's episode. what are you getting your dog for Christmas?
Every year, I technically get her the same thing. I buy a bunch of stuffed animals and fill the biggest bag you've ever seen and just completely dump them on top of her on Christmas morning. And she tears them all apart and makes it snow in our living room while me and my dad open up our presents. It's a tradition at this point.
There we go. Where's your dog at anyway?
She's actually hanging out in Dad's room right now, so she's probably helping text these comments in.
Oh, okay. So, I should have known. I know Shane wouldn't text message any of this stuff. It would have been
I
the
know,
dog
it's
all the time.
Snoopy.
Nah. But any social media people can follow you at
It's all at Faith Phreed.
everywhere.
Yeah,
TikTok.
everywhere.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the YouTube, right?
I have a YouTube under Faith Phreed. I just haven't started posting on it yet, but I'm working on it. I'm
I
gonna
feel like
get
you're
there
a
one
vlog
day.
person. If you could shove a vlog in there, I think people will follow you in vlogging.
I'm
You think
planning
so?
on doing that the next show. I'm gonna do it. One day.
One day. It's
One
fun.
day.
It's just you just do what you need to do and go from there, you know? But Brad, how about you?
You can follow me.
Anyway, back to you guys.
Wow. You can follow me at the Only Monster Truck and Ucker, Shaw Speed Design Co. Been working hard on a lot of client projects right now. A lot of things are picking up. Hopefully stuff will be announced here soon with some of the stuff I've been working on.
Hell, our project executioner, now people are talking about trying to make them as little RC trucks.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I got you to send the art file. I had 3 people already want to make an RC truck out of it.
Well, hey, you guys keep pressuring Hall Brothers and Ram to make that a reality. I want to see that truck name come back. It's one of my favorites, and I want to see that come back. Again, hopefully some other stuff will be announced here soon with some of the artwork I've been working on, and I'll let you do your social media stuff, Cheech, and then I want to bring up one thing at the end.
Okay. Well, since it snowed here, now I got sled dogs. So if you want to come over and hang out with me and stuff like that, I have 10 Siberian Huskies that can mush all day long for you to get your mail. So just come on over. One more strike out of you, sir. You got 2 more strikes and you're out of here.
Yep.
None of that stuff.
None of that shit here. Get that
out.
crap out of here,
Leave.
Mike.
Go back to Chicago. Get out. No one likes you now. Get out.
There's some news right there from Shane. 2 new trucks.
Possibly.
Possibly. We just gotta. Oh, get out, Mike. Get out.
Get that crap out of here. That and pumpkin pie. Get that crap out of here.
Get out. Delete. Anyway, that's some cool news right there. Possibly confirmed.
It is pretty exciting. We're looking to maybe do international while doing domestic at once. So, having those 2 extra trucks will help us do that, but we'll see.
That'd be pretty cool, We'll try to make that happen. Okay, I get what you're doing, because I think a lot of teams are doing that now too, when they have 2 of their trucks go overseas, and then they're scheduling with Hot Wheels, and then when they're not doing anything, they come back and they run the 2 trucks that they have, in the States and Canada and stuff like that, so they can make up, without having, when those trucks are in a boat, you're losing money. Technically, you're not gaining any money, but if you have 2 trucks back in the States while those other 2 are coming in, you're not missing a beat on production and money. So that's pretty cool. And but yeah, like I said before I got interrupted by Eggnog himself, and the big news about new trucks, right now my pigeons are not going to be able to fly in the winter, so if they do, they will just head south and don't come back. But right now I got the Huskies, or Dan TJ Gosh on Facebook, MT _Dan Agosh 28 on Instagram, TikTok, and go to Crush This on Facebook, YouTube. We'll be on Spotify, iTunes, and all that jazz. Yeah, that is this year's slogan. Just say no to Nog.
Don't do it. No matter if your friends say it's the cool thing to do, don't do it. It will ruin your life. Just look at the Christmas episode from like 5 years ago. Okay. That is proof that you don't want to do
retired
eggnog.
those episodes. You
Yeah.
almost
Also,
died, and I almost died too.
Chad, if you look up a couple of comments, what Shane said, so that's your answer there. But
he's been really working on that.
I don't want to bring the episode down, but we preach mental health every time on the podcast, and I mentioned it last week, and I want to bring it up. Today is 5 years from my suicide attempt, and if you're struggling, going through anything, it gets better. I'm proof of that. If you think that you can't turn your life around for the better, I'm proof. We're no matter how long we do this podcast for, no matter what, we're going to preach mental health. And that is the main reason why, is because
now it's also hitting the NFL with the lineman from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
That just recently ended his life. Don't know the details about they said it was on a little hunt, cops and stuff like that, but the way his girlfriend was describing it and stuff like that, he had a long history of it, and don't take it lightly.
Nope.
It will rear its head to anyone when you least expect it.
Yep.
And the battle will always continue on until the day that you come back, if you believe in them, to meet the maker. Until then, you just gotta keep on fighting the good fight. Be strong. Talk to people.
Yep.
Your work. My work. I have 7 therapists, pretty much. One that lives with me, and he hears everything I say. And I hear everything he says. Brad has an issue. He talks to me. There's tons of therapists. Don't be afraid of talking to someone.
Yep.
Even though you think it's stupid, it's not stupid. It's always meaningful to hear, and just because you're always gonna have some other way of thinking things.
Yep.
That person can change that, and then you'll be like, okay, that's cool, and stuff like that. This world isn't light. This world is tough.
Yep.
You have people that are, you have bills to pay. You have, what be in the next, some people, it's the next food. We're not even lucky. We're sometimes lucky about that, knowing that we can open up our pantry and saying, hey, I'm going to have this. There's someone around the world right now just trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to eat next? Where I'm going to sleep at? Everyone has a battle. And also, think when you come on in to work, or you're coming in life and stuff like that, that someone's having a battle, and just being, positive and nice, can affect you and affect that person on a long way.
Exactly. And, it's when you're going through that kind of stuff, like when I was going through all my stuff 5 years ago, it's hard to open up to people. And that's why I always say check up on people, because, when I remember when I was going through that stuff, I didn't want to reach out to people because I was embarrassed. I was ashamed of the struggle that I was going through, the hell that I was in, and I look back at it now, and, I wish I did back then, but this might sound crazy. And I was talking with my wife about this morning. I'm in a way glad to go what I went through, because I'm now a married man. I'm going to college, in January. I've been somewhat successful with graphic design. I've made mistakes with that, but I'm trying to be better, and it gets better. Please just reach out to somebody. It'll help save their lives. And if you guys want to know more about my story, please go on my profile, read what I posted this morning. I hope one day my story can help somebody get out of the darkness that they're in, and I don't know.
Isn't that this month celebrating men
today? This month is men's mental health awareness month. But But if you guys want to read my story, please go on my profile. It's there. You know, I want to bring awareness to it. Even in the monster truck industry, we lost Mike Thompson to suicide, and you know, he was such a bright, positive light in this industry, and you know, I don't want anybody to go down that path because I know how hard that mindset, and I don't want nobody to go down that path. So that's why I just wanted to bring it up, because, you know, it is a very important day for me personally. And, you know, we're going to always bring awareness to mental health because it needs to be a thing that, you know, we can't be ashamed of talk about it, because the more that we keep quiet about it, the more people die, the more people commit suicide, the more people struggle. So that's why we need to talk about it and bring awareness to mental health.
Our sharpest sword's also the one that pierces our skin the most. Exactly.
And I've messaged Cheech so many times, like, hey brother, I'm struggling.
I don't know how many times I deny him. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
No. But, you know, again, thank you guys for always, you know, being understanding about why we talk about mental health. And
if you guys want a really, really good in-depth conversation, go back to our archives and listen to Mike Nugent and Austin Spence. Those were pretty good episodes too about that. And pretty much please, just like Brad said, do that. Also, I always push donation of blood, not for the vampires in the world today, but you know, the people that are in need for transplants and stuff like that. Go to your Central Blood Bank, United Red Cross. I'll look into all that stuff. Plus, we were kidding around about, you know, the season, stuff like that. All those pamphlets and all those stuff that the Salvation Army or food banks and stuff like that put around for upcoming Christmas, upcoming Thanksgiving and stuff like that. You know, that is important too. If you guys have time to help that out, if you guys have nothing to do this is in the weekends, you want something to do, go to your near Salvation Army and see, hey, where you can put me in a schedule to be a ring bearer. You know, and just help out communities. In the winter, getting close in December, we do a coat drive and we help out with the less fortunate that need winter coats. This season, you know, start looking at helping out in general for the people that, you know, just have a good time this holiday season, and go from there. So anything can help.
Yep. Cheech, who do we have on the old podcast next week, my friend?
Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. I got nothing right now.
We'll figure something out.
I'll work on something. I always work on fly by wire. So I could get some connections this weekend. So
do some old school stuff. Faith, thank you for coming on again. You know, it was awesome to have you on again and chat with you. And, you know, hopefully it won't be another 2 years until we have you on.
Interview that skull that's behind you.
Dude, you gotta get some like.
Can you wear that and you'd be like Cubone from Pokemon?
You need to get some like LED lights to put in the eyes, because that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that idea.
Put little red lights on, and then when you go to bed, it just stares.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do that, and I'll tag you guys in the post. I'll post about it. We'll do red lights in there.
Don't do that. Don't tag us.
Also, I want to plug them. Beam Motorsports. If you want to check out some badass virtual elite for monster truck racing, go check that out. You boys made it to the last 2 final rounds. I've lost in both final rounds, but it is some of the most funnest stuff. They stream their events live. Check it out. It's an amazing time.
Nice. Yeah, good to share that for. If anyone's looking at shows, our next event will be Dayton, Ohio for Monster Jam. So that will be the weekend after Thanksgiving. We'll be on a little bit of a detour route, let's just say, and go with that. We have someone suggesting red lights and smoke machines.
I don't know about the smoke machine part.
No, the red lights would be sick, though.
That'd be cool. And call it bulldozer.
That would be cool, but I have allergies, so probably not.
Oh, man. But once again, Faith, thank you for being on, and hopefully see you around.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully we can do a show together one day. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, that'd be sweet. I know we are doing a gig in Tampa in the next couple weeks, so not a monster truck show, but a dealership deal. And then, but for me, I'll be at the most Texas named town in the world, Gun Barrel, Texas.
Hell yeah! What a
Wow.
name! What a name!
What a name for a city. Right outside Dallas, Gun Barrel, Texas. They can't get more John Wayne than that. Yeah, they're gonna be there while the other truck's gonna be at Tampa. So still that's exciting. Big future and everything like that. And yeah. So once again, Faith, thank you for being on.
Oh, thank you guys for having me again.
All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Like I said, next week we'll be talking to her skull, and the rest of it, the rest of the
It'll be
schedule
here.
will be going. Yes, we're having a 1 hour program with the skull. Be pretty one sided though, but we'll be all right. But
Yeah.
Brad, anything else there, bud?
No, just like I said earlier, guys, check with your friends and family, donate blood, do good things for people. We're all in this world together. And guys, as we
Also,
have
put your
said,
dogs and cats inside too, because outside
yes,
of the animals now it's opposite. It's not really hot, but now it's starting to become really cold.
yep.
Even in Florida, it's cold. It's like -24 right now. The Sun Florians, and well, the Brad, that's like t-shirt weather.
Yeah,
For them, it's
basically.
like Arctic. The funny thing is she's closer to Arctic than you are.
I know, but you know what? I'm glad that I don't have to work outside anymore. So I don't like working outside when it's -40. No, that's just not fun.
No, not at all. No.
But everybody, thank you for the support for the last 10 years, and as we have said for the last 10, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, everybody. Peace.